welcome to today's session. Let us start by giving you all a quick brief on what OctaNet is. So, Tech OctaNet is a budding startup headquartered in Bhubaneswar, specializing in IT solutions across diverse sectors including e-commerce, real estate, automation, and personalized business application. Our primary focus is to provide affordable services to startups, aiding them into their digital initiatives. In addition to our core services, we are expanding into the corporate training sector, aiming to equip future corporate employees with a solid foundation. We also address student needs by identifying academic project requirements, internship opportunities, and offering comprehensive solutions. We are proud to be incorporated as an organization with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, registered with MSME, and approved by AICTE for internship programs. Also, our commitment to quality is underscored by ISO 9001 2015 certification, ensuring that every project we undertake reaches highest standards of excellence. Okay, thank you so much. That was all. Let us now stage our instructor and start today's session.
So I think I can take over the session, right?
Yes, Jose, you can.
Fine. Yeah. Hey everyone, myself Joe Paul Jensen. Today I will be your host for today's session. Not just today, in the upcoming days. Within these days, we are planning to make you guys get into web development, how everything works over the network, how these websites work. We will learn together how to actually build a personal website for yourself. So getting into the space is easy in these days because of the amount of resources available over the network and internet. Now, talking a little about myself, I think nobody cares. So let's just get straight into the point. Now, I am not here to just present a PPT and just show you guys how everything is done. I'm here to share my experiences on how I became a full stack web developer, what were my starting stages, how I got into this, and guide you through every steps and stages that I would like to present. Now, before getting into the actual development, there are a few key things that you guys need to learn. And let me present you something at first. Now, getting into as I mentioned before, getting into a full stack development, getting into a web development, it is not that hard. That's the first thing that you guys need to learn because it is the foundation on which you need to build your development career upon. In this 2024, web development or full stack development is one of the commonly chosen and easier to get into tech stack available. So why not? Just why are you just waiting to get into this? Let's just get right into it. Now, before starting developing a website, as I mentioned before, we need to learn a few stuff. And let me present to you my browser so we can share through the stuff. Yeah, I do believe the browser is visible. Now, before getting into direct development, we need to know how the current internet was formed, how everything was built, and the effort our ancestors, like the previous were people who actually put their life into such technology. How did they work and made the internet that's available to us right now? So admiring those brave and intelligent people out there. So as part of that, I am taking you to the first session where I will be talking about the brief history about the internet. Now, since I mentioned about my syllabus, let me talk about my syllabus. Throughout the upcoming days, we will be learning about the history of internet, how a website, web page works, how everything works on the internet. Then we will get into the basics of HTML, the web development part. Then we will get into CSS, which styles everything, get into the actual development stuff. And then we will actually get in hand on a project so that everyone who's attending this session will be able to, get on to the development path. So this is my plans on what all I will be trying to educate you guys. So let's get started now. Yeah, I think it's better to show my screen where I just written my um, syllabus. So yeah, as we can see, the day one. So today I am just planning to take you guys over the roller coaster where we will learn about the history of internet. Then we will explain what is internet. We'll get into IP addresses. We will get into how different devices are identified over the network. We will get on to web page, how everything works, the different levels of web, and then we will get into the tools that we will use to actually develop a website. So this is the syllabus that I will be taking over today. So let's get started. Now let me share. Yep. So the brief history of internet. Around 1960s, like the time period where most of us weren't even born. That was the time when internet was came into the minds of people, the techie guys, during that time. So why and how did this internet idea came? As we all know, if you have, you might have gotten a small idea about the different generations of computer during that time. During 1960s, computers were a bulky, it actually covered a whole room, hardware that was required to, compute different methodologies, compute different algorithms. The hardware required for such processes required, to fill inside a whole room. It was, used, air conditioning was used to cool those down, and it was a hectic lot of tasks to perform such computers. So during that time, if a computer need to output information and need to send that to another system, it was kind of difficult. Why? Because as I have said, the large amount, large space that these guys occupy, it was not as portable as we have right now. So that time, the engineers out there thought about a different method so we can communicate with other systems, and that's how internet was born. The first internet that was made was known as ARPANET. It's called Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. It was developed by a team in the army. I am not sure which one, but yeah, it was created by the American Army. The techies out there, the engineers out there, developed the first internet, which was out there to communicate between devices over the American Army, the U.S. Defense Department. But then they thought about, yeah, this is a cool technology, right? If people will be able to, communicate with others, it's a cool technology. So they actually released a part of internet out to the public, and that's how we as users were able to get a taste of internet. From that, the internet was developed in a large scale. It was scaled all over the world, and the internet that we use right now was born. This is how the internet worked. So let's get into what is internet and how does internet work. Before getting into this, just check this website. It's called MDN Web Docs. I will be linking the website on the chat because it's a great resource to get into web development. If you guys need to, get into web development, just check out the link that I have posted on the, yeah, it's going to comment. So yeah, yeah, I just, sorry guys, I just didn't saw the comments that you were putting on the YouTube, and yeah, good evening, and yeah, fine, fine. So, um, I think it's better for you guys just to Google out MDN Docs. It is the professional, documentation about many other technologies. It would be talking about web development. It would be talking about internet, many other stuff. So let's get back to our topic. How does the internet work? I am assuming that you guys, that you people would have, basic knowledge, or if not, I am covering all the topics that you would need to get into the stage. So let's get together on. Now, let's talk with an example. The one that I have, previously mentioned, the computer A. This guy, this guy is sitting in a huge room. Let's take your classroom A, and this B computer is sitting in classroom B. So, communicating between these guys, we need a medium, right? Let's take it as a wired medium or wireless medium, anything. So, we need a medium through which these computers can communicate. Now, let's take today's example. Let's take A as a laptop, B as another laptop. So, some of you guys might have experience on using Ethernet cables to connect other devices or connecting directly to the modem. Now, what Ethernet does is connecting your device with another system. So, in that case, the image that you see here, all right, this is somewhat the internet looks like. Let's take A. A is your, um, let me see. Let's take Gaurav Kumar Chowbari. I think I pronounced him right. Let's take his laptop as the A. Then there was Avni Pise. I am bad at pronouncing names, sorry for that. So let's take her laptop as B. Then the next guy, let's take Harish Tandale as the C. So you guys, you peeps are, your laptops are as explained as A, B, C. So when an internet is formed, your device will be connected to the internet so that your device will be able to communicate with every other devices over the network. Now, right now, I am able to speak with you just because internet was possible. So my system is being connected to each of your PC so that we can communicate with each other through the video source. That's how we are communicating right now. So the computer A is communicating with B, he can communicate with C, computer X, he can communicate with E, with J, and so on. So let's get into a much more realistic, much more relatable example, right? As you can see here, this is a Wi-Fi router. Most of you guys would have this at your home, at your college, at public Wi-Fi. Let's get this. So when you're connecting into a Wi-Fi or your friend's hotspot, right? His device, like your friend or the Wi-Fi router, stays up there as bridge between internet and you. So this guy, the Wi-Fi router helps to connect different devices together and connect them to the internet. So that to the internet, so that's how you everyone are connected over through the network. That's why we are able to, I am able to speak to you guys, and you are able to speak to me through, YouTube comments and all. I am watching your comments, right? I am watching your comments. Yeah, MDN Web Docs, exactly. Akshat Rawat told me. So Since he commented that on YouTube, it reached me through the internet, and that's how I was able. This is just the basics. So if anyone is unaware of this, that's why I am talking about this. So if you are, uh, you are aware of this, just take this as a revision. So like, yeah, let's get into the next one. So now the next question that awares is, how will I identify each devices over the internet? There won't be an APC, BPC, CBC, GPC, or IPC as shown in this image. There will be a specific name. Let's take an example. See, like, let's take you are a student. You will have a roll number, right? How will your teacher identify you? For example, let's say roll number 111, right? When we call the roll number 111, the corresponding person associated with the roll number will be called when the roll number is raised, right? In similar logic, we will be assigning several roll numbers to our personal computers, and that's how devices are understood over the internet. So let's see what and how is that possible. So yeah, it's called IPv4. Like we are naming these devices over the internet with the help of internet protocol. It's called IP, and the name given to the computers is known as IP address. I believe everyone will have some knowledge about IP addresses. We are the consumers who consume different type of content. Some of you guys, people would have seen ethical hacking based movies. Most of you people would know what an IP address is. These geeks that type on the computers, and they will be able to hack into systems that help IP addresses. You might have heard many info about that. Let me see if anyone have. Yes. So good evening, everyone. I am watching your comments you are posting out there on YouTube. So if I miss out on something, just comment it again. I will be looking onto that. Now we were talking about IPv4, right? Let's get back to the topic. So let's say internet can connect every system to each other. Then can we see all the data of another system? Now that's a good question by Gaurav Kumar. Internet can connect. So he's asking that if our device is connected to the internet, will be able to see others' data? Absolutely, we can see others' data. But the thing is, since we are using different protocols to send and receive data, it's actually encrypted, and due to that, we can't actually see. So kindly do it in Zoom for the next time. Yeah, which video quality are you mentioning? Because my video camera just turned off. I'm right now using my webcam, so that would look crappy. Most of you guys would know. It's just. So will you upload this session on YouTube? Yeah, I will. I will look up on what about that. The technical team would look on that. Now back to the question of Gaurav. So what I was talking is that if devices were connected over the network, we will be able to see others' data, and that's how I am able to connect with Gaurav, and Gaurav will be able to connect with me. But I can't just directly see the bare text that's being sent. If you will have experience on when we take WhatsApp, there is this thing called end-to-end encryption. That means no other person over the internet can see the message other than the one who's sending and receiving message. So there are different encryptions running around there. So it's actually not possible just to see the bare text. That's the thing. And don't think you're just secure. If a hacker with good skills out there, he can compromise everything if the network is weak. So take precautions like that. And if you have any other questions, do put it up on the comment section on YouTube. I will be seeing this, and yeah, cool. Yeah, so let's get back to the topic. Now, how we will identify this, how we will assign unique names similar to roll number of a student. It's possible with the help of internet protocol. So it is a protocol that's used to create several IP addresses for devices that is being connected to a internet or to a network. So this is an example IP address. So uh, now I will be giving you guys an exercise. So the right now I am showing a IP address. It's just an example IP address. Are you curious to identify your own IP address? Then I will be right now hosting a challenge for you guys. So um, yep. So everyone, if you are on Windows, just get into your search bar and go into command prompt or terminal. Just get into terminal. If you are on Ubuntu, get into terminal. If you are on Mac, you know it's the out there. It's called terminal. Get into the app and then type in the command ipconfig, ipconfig. When you type in this command, you will be able to see the IP address, the IPv4 address that is assigned to your device, right? So with the help of this IP, I am connected to the network. So others or the network can identify using this address, right? So for example, someone from the comments, let's take Amider Singh. Yes, bro, it's IP config. He has commented out it on YouTube. So just check it out. Let's take an example. Amider Singh need to contact me. So he can use the IP address that I just shown here. It's 192.168.56.1. So he can ping me on this IP address and give me a hi. So I can respond to him, right? So I think there would be some questions out there on, yeah, I'm seeing. Karan Virban, what is man in the middle attack? So let's take our Wi-Fi router as an example, right? The one that I have shown before. So this is our home Wi-Fi router. A is your device. B use your mom's device. C is your smart TV, like devices connected to your internet. So let's take G. This guy is a hacker. Let's take G as a hacker. So this guy came into your network with malicious intent. Now, what this guy is going to do is that he will be turning off your Wi-Fi off, and then he will pretend to be your Wi-Fi router. So what would happen, right? So in that situation, your device A, will be looking for your Wi-Fi router, but the problem is that since the hacker G, he is mimicking the properties of the router, your device will connect to the hacker's Wi-Fi router and his device will connect to the router. So in this situation, you will get internet, you will get the network. The problem is that the network packet, the data will only flow through the hacker's computer. So he will stand in the middle of the way in which the data flows. So he can actually view every data that's being flown through him, like through this hacker, because he is mimicking the features of this Wi-Fi router. So in that case, as I mentioned, before, with the help of encryptions, the data is actually encrypted. But if he's a good hacker, he will be able to decrypt that information and read every single cringy message that you send through the network that you are in. So to avoid such situation, make your Wi-Fi routers much more secure. And yeah, just there's this guy. I would recommend, in YouTube, I would recommend this guy called Network Chuck. If you are interested for Chuck, he is talking about man in the middle attack. Now, if you are interested to learn more about this attack, just watch this video, three levels of Wi-Fi hacking. This is a great resource to get into. This guy is just amazing to learn about ethical hacking. Do not, people, if you need to get into ethical hacking. So, where are the questions? How to our encrypt website by attacker? Aditya Thakur, I didn't get your question, so please do it. So, is it necessary to learn internet before we start web development? Yes. Why? Because if you are just hosting a simple website, it's just not relevant. But if you need to become a pro, if you need to become the best in the best, if you need to become an actual full stack developer, you need to learn how data flows through the internet, how your web server or how your website communicates with your users, how your user communicate with your website. All this flow of data is to be known. That's the hard part that I need to face, because I didn't learn about this fundamentals of internet. I just directly got into the development, and when classes proceed, I was sitting there dumbfounded because I didn't have the foundations. That's why I am taking this effort to give this information and let you know how everything works on the internet. Now, if you are comfortable with what I am speaking out here, just give me a thumbs up and mention and put something on the comments. If you are understanding everything, please put a comment. If you are having any concerns with any topics I am speaking, just put everything in the comment. I am watching you, right? I am watching you. I will reply to every question that's being asked. So it's called Karan Virban. Differentiate between IDS and IPS. So at the right moment, I just didn't got what is IDS and IPS. I just don't know what you mean. So yeah, if you could abbreviate the whole thing, it would be better. Durgambali, I'm not understanding. Just please mention which topic you didn't understand. I will explain it again if it's necessary, but it will, make it will disrupt the flow of the class. So I will explain it at the end of the session. Let's get back to our topic. So as we have seen before, this is the IP address that is being given to my device. With the help of this IP address, others or network will be able to connect to me, will be able to send messages to my system, and this is the name that is being given to my device. So with this name, others over the internet will be able to communicate with me, right? This is the basics of the network. This is the basics of internet, how everything, how different things connect over the network. Now, if you need to learn more about internet, how the foundations of internet, first thing is refer network chuck, as I have mentioned before. Second thing, go into MDN docs. These guys have the best and professional documentation out there for websites and web development and everything. Now the next thing is I have seen many of you guys talk about I have been a web page, I have been a website. So what is the difference between a web page and a website? Now, web page is just the single page that you are referring to. If your website just only have a single page like this, then it should be called web page. If your site has different pages, then should be called a website. For example, this one is a website. Let's take what's the URL. This is a other site, means other page. Basics anatomy. Sorry. How do I use GitHub pages? This is another page. So a combination of pages is known as website. Just don't confuse that, guys. Just don't confuse between web page and website. So if you are building a portfolio web page, that means you have only a single page in which you just describe your resume, everything about yourself. Now you have built a personal website. That means it should have at least two pages in it so that we can travel between different pages. So do take that in mind. Uh, do remember about that. So this is the official and professional way of representation. Let's see what web page is. A document which can be displayed in a web browser. These are also known as pages. So it's just a page. So as I told, website is a collection of web pages which are grouped together and usually connected. So when you should be really careful when you are talking about a web page or website. Never call a web page a website and a website a web page. Just don't confuse with these terms. So let's see if there's anything. Intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. So Karan Birbau, your doubt is about intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. Now, the thing is, this is not an ethical hacking based workshop. We are just here to get into web development. We are here to get into full stack development. So such discussions should be only closed into an ethical hacking based workshop. But since you asked, I'm not going to leave you. Intrusion detection system, as the name suggests, it detects whether an intrusion, like for example, let's take Karan Virban, your house, right? If a thief is trying to get into your house, we will take the input from CCTV camera. We'll be taking sensors. We will be taking the barking from the dog. All this information can be collected together and paired, and in due to that, we can say that an intruder, like a thief, is trying to get into our home. So that the systems which are assigned to detect such system, such intrusion, is known as intrusion detection system. Now, when we get into intrusion prevention system, it's like if you have seen the movie called Home Alone, that that boy who made a whole intrusion prevention system to prevent some thieves to get into his home. Let's take that an example. So it's a system to prevent such intrusions, prevent these thieves to get into our home. So that's just an example. And let's discuss such questions in an ethical hacking based workshop. If you have something based on web development and full stack development, please do mention it here. What language are we going to learn for backend? It's going to be JavaScript. Now, can JavaScript help? Bro, ethical hacking is a complete different topic from our today's agenda, so I'm not gonna answer that question. Let's get back to our topic. So I think you got an idea now. What search engine? It's basically the software that we use to search different websites. For example, where you find other web pages like Google, Bing, Yahoo. It's being used as the search engines. For example, if I take a new window, I am searching using google.com. This is my search engine. So this is the search engine I'm using. So that's an example. So let's get into the next topic. It's a short description of the web. Now, what is web? Now, I have given a basic foundational information for you guys about internet. Now let's talk about web. Now, since internet was built from the US defense, and when it was publicly available for the people started to connect different devices together into a same network. But to view some content that was for example, if I need to show you some content over the internet, I need to document it somewhere and will be able to make it visible so that everyone over the network will be able to see my content. And from that idea, the web was developed. Now, the person, Tim Berners-Lee, most of you guys would know this guy. He was the father of World Wide Web. World Wide Web is the main reason that websites and web pages was born. So he was the guy who invented World Wide Web, which was able to bring out these web pages publicly available, and anyone will be able to view websites. Right. So these are like if you just Google what is web and history about web, you will get this website and where it discusses about the history. I just don't need to get into much deeper about the history of web. Just if you're interested, just Google out this. But remember this guy, this is the legend who brought out World Wide Web, which is the reason why I am able to show you this web page and why I am also able to communicate with you guys. Because now where you have seen this www, for example, www.google.com, that's how we search for a website. um yeah, I think are benefits of http slash 2. Yeah, I will discuss about your question later because I need to discuss about syllabus, right? So, talking about web. Now, the question is how was I able to visit this specific web page? Before I have mentioned that different devices are assigned an IP address as we have seen here via different IP addresses will be assigned to devices over the internet, right? So let's take this website as an example. This website will be hosted on a device like your personal computer, like some other person's else computer, right? So this, let's take an example. This website is hosted on my computer. Hosting means it is stored in my computer, so anyone over the internet can access this website. That's what basically hosting means. So if this website is hosted on my system, anyone over the internet can access this. So how can others access my website? It is with the help of IP address that is assigned to my system. So let's take as an example. Before I have told you, this is the IP address that is being assigned to my system. So I'm taking this as an example. So if you get more deep into internet foundations, you will get to know different types of IP addresses and stuff. I'm not going to into that. Let's take this as an example. This is the IP address that is assigned to my system. So let's assume if others, for example, you guys are trying to access this specific IP address, then you will be able to see this website that is hosted on my device if we are on the same network. Because I have previously mentioned that's how the world network works. But are you sure? Will you be able to understand all this IP address, and or will you be able to memorize this IP address? I am pretty sure you will obviously forget that. So because of that, the term the technology DNS was formed. It's called domain name system. Yeah, I will talk about that. So now let's talk about what is domain name system. I have given an example before about a roll number. So a roll number assigned to a student is similar to an IP address assigned to a system. So the example that I have mentioned is here. This website, this whole website is in my computer. Now you need to access this website. You need the IP address of my system. So you can't, or it's difficult for you guys to memorize the IP address of my system. So what I do is that I store this IP address on a sheet, right? And this sheet will also contain a word. Let's take an example. Before I said about the roll number example, a roll number will be assigned to a student, right? Similarly, uh, so for example, like I am teacher, we are in a classroom. I am talking like roll number 123. So this roll number is associated to a person in our classroom. Let's take Kushi, right? That's first name I have seen here. So let's take Kushi. Kushi is roll number is 123. So how do I know that? I would take the attendance sheet that's provided, that's with me. I take the attendance sheet. I will go around all the roll numbers available, and I find out 123, right? It's roll number, and that is associated with Kushi. So from that, I know that 123. When I call 123, I will get Kushi, right? The same logic is applied to the DNS, so that um, the IP address and a name, a domain name, will be assigned together in a sheet. So, for example, Google www.google google.com. This is the domain name. So when I call google.com, it actually the website, the sorry search engine will will check the DNS. It's similar to the attendance sheet that I have mentioned before. So in that DNS, it will contain the IP address of Google server. So when we access this IP address, we will be able to get into Google. So if you need an example, we can put in this command called ping. Now we can see here. Here we can see an IP address, right? When I told ping google.com, it is saying 142.1.250. So this is the IP address of Google. So when we are searching for google.com, it actually sends this data to the DNS server where it contains IP addresses of the domain name that we are searching for, and returns that IP address so that our web, our search engine will be able to connect to that system. So in the example that we were discussing, my system has this website. It has an IP address. This IP address is stored in a DNS server, and it has a domain name. Let's take an example as joscall.com. So it's easier for you guys to remember joscall.com, right? So you just go into a web server, so sorry, you just go into a browser, you just type in joscall.com, then the DNS server will return the IP address of my system, and your system will be able to connect with my system and will be able to visit this website that is stored in my system. That's how DNS and all this networking works. Now, why I am taking this much time to explain this is because this information is essential when you are becoming a good, when you are going into the future. So this is how actually a browser is able to get into website. So let's take an example. I am going into google.com. So it said something. So let's say joscall.com, right? This is the website that we are trying to access. So now we got a message that joscall.com's DNS address could not be found. This is because there is not an actual site which is named joscall.com. So when we are searching for joscall.com, the browser sends this information, this joscall.com, to the DNS server, and this DNS server will look for IP addresses related to joscall.com. And he couldn't find an IP address. Sad, so sad. So he just returned a message that Man, this can't be found. This is not found anywhere on my system. Did you spell it right? That's what he is talking about to us right here. So this is how DNS server and network works. So yeah, Anirudh, what's it? What is the roll number where we have to find? Kushi Bangal, what do you mean by what is the roll number we have to find? How will you check the status of DNS online? For that, there's this amazing tool up there on your terminal. If you are using Windows, you can go into terminal. You write down, just get into this. Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. Open up your terminal. Like search for terminal. If you are on Ubuntu, just go into your terminal. If you're on Mac, go into your terminal. It's the same thing. So here we can get into ping. This command is used to check whether a DNS or a website is actually up there. Let's take, www. Which one is called as domain? www.google.com. This is known as the domain name of Google. With this name, we can find out the server of Google. So if we type in ping space anything, right? Ping space the domain name, we will get the IP address of the server. So this is how we will check the status of a DNS server. Oh, sorry, we'll check the status of DNS. Let's take another example. So I am going to ping into this, ping into this IP address. Ping, right? So what will happen? Let's see. Yeah, that is also possible because, right? It's because since we have given IP address, it just directly be able to ping or search for that IP, search for that server and connect to it and reply with a message. That's it. That's how we check how a server is working. So which one is the domain name? Yes, as mentioned before, www.google.com is the domain name. So let's take Microsoft an example. It's called ping www.microsoft.com. Oh, sorry, ping www.microsoft.com. So it will reply with IP address of server of our um, Microsoft. Now, what do we use DNS? DNS is like a sheet which contains the name, the domain name that I have mentioned before. It's www.microsoft.com and the IP address of the server where the actual website is situated. So we need this IP address to get into that website. Okay, so we need this IP address to get into that specific website. I think you got the point. So for getting this, so this IP address, right, and this domain name will be stored inside the DNS. Because of this DNS, we are able to easily find out where a website is hosted, where a website is situated. Let's take this example. So 22, I am not sure this is going to work or not. I have not tried this. Let's put in the IP address. Just directly go into this IP address. It's saying no URL is found. It's because we need an actual domain name to search and find out from the DNS server. So when we are dealing with DNS, we need this domain name, this URL, Uniform Resource Locator. We need that thing to get into that website. I think most of the doubts are clear. Um, yeah, so let's get back to our topic. I think the DNS thing is clear. If not, take the example, right? Take your classroom as an example. In your classroom, there are several students. You guys all have a roll number. It's easy for the teacher to call the roll number rather than calling your name. right? Because different people have different name, but roll numbers are easy to access. Similarly, in a DNS server, this number is easy to access. That's why we use DNS. I think everyone is clear. Brother, that's what I just talked about. This Vajit Swain. What's the need of DNS in web development? That's what I just told. DNS is needed. So why do we need in web development? So if you are going to host, by the term host, I mean we are going to, we are going to store our website somewhere so that we can, we can easily access the website. So in that case, we are trying to host a website into the server. So what is the server, right? Server is a computer in which runs 24 by 7. No? It won't shut down, like it works infinitely, and in that, so that every other people can access this website. So in that server, in that computer, we will be saving our website, and we need that IP address of that server to, to get the website from that device. So to get that IP address, we need a domain name. With the help of that name, it will be much easier for us to get hold of the website rather than typing in the IP address called 192.168, stuff like that. Yeah, cool. So if you have any doubts, just keep asking. Let's get back to our topic. Now, if just Google around what is DNS if you have doubts out there, and at the end of the session, we will clear much more doubts. We will get back to our session. Now, as I have mentioned, mhm, www World Wide Web was developed by Tim Berners-Lee. It was the foundation on which websites were built. So a website which we can, get information from was formed. With the help of that technology, people were able to, build different websites, and that was the beginning of the first stage or the first level of web, which is known as Web 1. Web 1 was around 1960s to 1999, that period. In that period, different web pages were developed. Now, let's take an example of Wikipedia. Right. Wikipedia is a website where we can access to gain information, right? We can go onto this page about Wikipedia itself. We can read all this information and we can leave, right? This is the basics of, oh, sorry. So this is the basics of web. Let's take Wikipedia again. So this is the basics of Web 1. That is, we, the users, can access the website and refer to every content available inside the website. That's only. So as explained here, I will be able to access Wikipedia. I will be able to access all this information. Then I leave. I can't communicate with the website about the information I have. So, we can't have a two-way communication between the website. So that was one of the main issues out there on Web 1. But to solve that issue, Web 2 was formed. Now, which are the technologies that we use in Web 1? In Web 1, since we are only making a simple web page or a small website, HTML and CSS were only used. So because of that, we can only access the website, right? We can only just view everything. As we have seen here, we can only view all this content, but we can't communicate with a server. We can't communicate with a website. To solve this issue, JavaScript was born. The legendary JavaScript was born to enable two-way communication between the user and the website. And because of that, Web 2 was formed. Now let's take the time period. Let's time travel back into the past of 1990 or 1999. During that time when Web 2 was introduced, people were thinking like, what is the use case, right? Why do we even need of Web 2? Because we are able to access the website, we are able to read all the contents, like it's fine, like we are on the safe side, we are on the sweet side of the web. Why do we need a Web 2 version, right? But from the people started implementing, the visionaries, the great-minded people who understood Web 2 started developing on this, and the internet that we see right now was made out. That is, let's take an example. Amazon. Amazon is a website where we can buy products from different sellers, right? Let's take which product? Yeah, let's take the smartphone from OnePlus. No, S21 FE. This is one of my favorite smartphones. Just a yeah, Snapdragon triplet. So I am a user. I need to buy this smartphone, right? I am going to press on this button to buy this. Oh, sorry, I need to sign in. Okay, so I need to buy this. So when I click buy, I put in the address, I send the money. How do Amazon know that I, the user, need this product? I have paid the money. I have, I have everything that is required to give this money. How do they know? That was made, that was formed, and that was made possible with the help of JavaScript. JavaScript acts as the big brain behind the website which controls everything. Let's take an example. Let's take, I need to add this product into my cart. So I press this add to cart. So in the back end, so in the server side, the data is being calculated that this specific user needs to add Snapdragon S21, Galaxy S21 FE smartphone into his cart. So this information is being processed with the help of JavaScript. We will get much more technical in the upcoming sessions, but right now just learn this was the main reason. So this is how this whole process was formed. So we need JavaScript to make it a Web 2 based website, right? So right now we are in the saturated state of Web 2. We are at the stage of Web 1 at 1990, 1999. Then came the next iteration of web, and it's called Web 3. Now, what's Web 3? It's actually, it's a slightly difficult topic to get into. It's slightly difficult to explain into, but I will try my best to explain it. But let me see if any doubts came. Understood? Okay, understood, sir. Please shift to Zoom. I think that is not possible right now. And if you have any doubts, also pin me on the comments. I am watching you. I'm talking again. I am watching you. Okay. So let's see about Web 3. Now let's take an example of Ishwarai. Ishwarai is on this class. So in the case of Web 2, the communication happens between the user and the website, the server. So it's a closed communication. For example, I am going to talk with Ishwarai. Okay. So I am going to tell him, bro, I have 100 rupees I am going to give you. And I just took out a 100 rupee note. I gave it to him and we just continued our day, right? But then I am raising a complaint that Ishwarai scammed me and took 1,000 rupees from me. So how will Ishwarai will be able to prove that? I gave him 100 rupee note. I'm just taking this as an example. Just take this as an example. I gave him an 100 rupee note. And he said, "This is the note I gave him." Then I can easily say that that's just fake news. He's the one who scammed me. I just lost 1,000 rupees. What is, there is kind of, we can't actually prove in such a situation. Let's take the same situation in this classroom, right? So in this classroom, it's not just Ishwarai. there are several other students out there on this classroom. So if I am telling Ishwara, hey bro, I have this 100 rupees, I am giving it to you, and Ishwara accepts that. After some time, if I am raising the query that Ishwara has scammed me, like he took 1,000 rupees from me, but I can't claim that because everyone present in this class have seen that I have means I have given Ishwarai the 100 rupees. So you guys all have seen that, and you guys all have witnessed that I have given him 100 rupees, and because of this, I can't claim false accusations against him. This is a kind of, this is an example that I have given. There are several other technical terms out there. This is an amazing technology. If you guys are interested, do also check out this. And as I have mentioned, Web3 is in the stage where, Web2 is in a stage where Web1 was during 1990 and 1990s. To solve the issues of Web 2, Web 3 is arriving, but we peeps are confused that what is the need of Web 3? Like, why do we need this technology? Why do we even need a decentralized situation? But I guarantee you, this Web 3 environment will be implemented here, and this technology will grow in the upcoming years. So let's take Web3 as a final boss, because to get there, we need to tackle Web1 and then Web2. So just check out what Web3 is. It's great opportunity for you guys. I've personally experienced about this technology. It's just mind blowing. That's why I talked about this. So um, I just gave you an example, and these are the basics of Web 1 and Web 2, how different these technologies work. So these are everything. These are the foundations of networking. These are the foundations of web that I wish to give to you. Now let's recap everything, right? Before recapping, if you have any doubts, you can pin me on the comments. Um, Vishaka Garu. Oh man, I can't. What is it? Try to improve video quality. If you're talking about my, if my video quality, I'm so sorry, Mugund Kumar. My video camera just died just before this session. I was helpless. I had a great quality camera. I do usually use that, but it just died off randomly. It's just I can, my heart aches due to that. Else I could have given you the best, visuals from my side. If you're talking about the, screens that I am sharing, I'm just not sure why it is not clear. Yeah, what are the new technologies used in Web3? Now, in Web3, we are going into this concept of decentralization. Decentralization means we people have the power. Like there is no a central server or a centralized system out there. Like for example, Google. Google is out there controlling all the network out there. Who's searching for the stuff. They have all information. We are trying to disrupt that and bring a decentralized. So people have the power. For that, different blockchains. Blockchain is the technology that is used to implement Web3. If I start to talk about Web3 and blockchain, the session would move completely from the agenda of today's session. So I will talk about it at the end. I will surely talk about Web3, because yeah, I am right now into Web3. I will surely talk about it. So to get domain names IP address, its process includes IPS, DNS resolver, root name server, TLD server, and authoritative name server, right? Yes, that's right. But the thing is, I would suggest to moving it to those deep sections in further of your journey. Right now, just know about DNS. Right, most of you just need to know about what DNS is, how it works. If you are, if you need to get much more into web development, just learn about these terms that Vishaka Gaur has talked about. It's known as IPS, or full name. Just forgot the full name, the abbreviation for IPS. So DNS resolver, it resolves the, DNS resolver returns the IP address that is connected to the domain name, root name server. These are the technologies that all these technologies uh, are clubbed together to make the DNS technology possible. So right now you just not need to get into those high level stuff. Just learn what is DNS, how the stuff works, what is internet, how different devices connect over internet. So I will get into recap. I will get into the recap. Let's move on. Understood, understood. Please, try to move. What are we have to pay any money for internship certification? The tech team will talk about the certifications and all. So yeah, I'm here to take the class. The tech team just hop on to Harish Tandale's comment. He's asking whether he need to pay any money for the internship certification, internship completion letter. Yeah, so let's recap what we have learned. In today's session, we first got into how internet was made. It was made by the US Defense Department. They are the guys who built a closed internet or network named ARPANET, Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. It was then released to the public, users like us, and then the internet that we see was born. Then the different engineers, like-minded people, tinkerers, nerds, everyone came into this network, built several stuff on top of this, and that's how the internet right now was formed. So how does how does the internet work? That's the next topic discussed. And in that we told about our computer connected into another device with the help of a medium, and this medium is responsible for sending data between these devices. And this is an example image of a network. As we can see, device A can send message to D, F, I, and H can message to C, B, J, everyone over the network. So let's take an example. I personally, my device can send messages to everyone on this network. On if let's take an example, on this class, I can speak to everyone that's in this class, right? Similarly, that's how network works. So if I am getting into, let's take a smartphone as an example. If I am turning on mobile data, we are our device, our smartphone is entering into the network so that other devices on the internet will be able to communicate with our smartphone. That's what happens when we press the mobile data on. Now, in case of a Wi-Fi router, like we are connecting to a Wi-Fi router, we are connected to a Wi-Fi router. The device, like our device, will connect to this Wi-Fi router, and this Wi-Fi router is connected to the ISP, the Internet Service Provider. That he's the guy who's providing the internet service to devices like us. So it's this router, right? This router is responsible for connecting devices via wired method or wirelessly over the over this closed in the network. Now there is the different types of network, PAN, WAN, LAN. I'm just not going into that stuff. It's just basic theory. I'm not making taking this into a boring one-way session. So this is how a network connects. Now I will give you an interesting, really interesting topic. Just take your smartphone, right? If possible, turn off the Wi-Fi. I will be taking my smartphone, right? Just turn off the Wi-Fi. Just turn on your mobile data. Okay, I have turned on my mobile data. Now go into a browser. Like I have turned on my, I think it's visible, right? Take your smartphone, turn on your mobile data, tap into your browser, search for what is my IP address. IP address. Why I am showing it on my smartphone is because we are into a crazy experiment. Try this with your smartphone right now. Turn off the Wi-Fi, connect it with your mobile internet, go into what is my IP address, just search it, you will get the first website, go into the website, and then we can see our IP address, right? The IP address that we see here, right, it is a public IP address. That means this IP address is used to connect with our device over the large internet, over the WAN, the wide area network. This IP address is being used. But in the case of the in the here I have shown with the help of IP config, right? Here I have shown this IP address called 192.168.56.1. This IP address is different from the IP address that we have seen in the step I have shown here. Why? Because this is an personal IP address and the one that we see here is a public IP address. Both of them are different. This is the IP address that is being shown in the personal network. So for example, if you are connecting to a router, right, the IP address that we have seen here, this 192.168, will be shown, will be assigned to this device. But if you are connecting with your mobile data, the IP address, the public IP address will be assigned to your device. It's a completely different topic. I just mentioned it because it's a cool experiment. I think everyone have tried it out. If you have tried it out, just put you have saw it in the comment section. It would be cool so that I will be able to know about it. Just you have to complete the given task and then pay. How this IP address is calculated. Um, that is a wonderful, that is a wonderful um, theory that I would like to speak. But if I just, if I would just don't get me started on that topic because I would completely move out on from the agenda. Just search. Like in such situations, like if you need to know something that I am not speaking about, just Google it around because that is the first skill as a web developer, not just a web developer, as any developer, the first skill that you need to acquire is learn how to Google stuff. It's 100% my advice. It's 100% working advice. If you are confused or you have doubts anywhere, just Google it, bro. Just Google it because that's the best way to learn stuff yourself. Because no one would be out there to teach everything out. Teach in person. There's no one going to spoon feed every information available out there. So now how is the IP address is calculated? Just Google it around. It's a pretty good algorithm. It's pretty good theory how this thing is calculated. It's called this we have seen here. Yeah, with the help of subnet masking, we are calculating the stuff, and there are other terms. Yeah, cool. Yeah, ChatGPT, you can go with that. ChatGPT would give good information. Just don't rely completely on that. For you guys, I will also spread out another information. It's called Find, Phind. This is an AI chatbot. It's specifically developed for developers, right? In this chatbot is mainly focused and it is trained on different programming languages. So this Find will give much more accurate information about the problems that you are stuck based on coding based stuff. So do check that out. ChatGPT is trained on general model, right? Find is basically trained basically for the programming based things. So yeah, cool. Anime art and edits. You have I think you did that. You're cool. Sometimes ChatGPT also get fail in solving math problem. Yeah. That is, in the current situation, ChatGPT might fail, but in the future, just see when we get enough information to train. Not just ChatGPT, we humans itself, we will fail when we are starting to learn. Failure is the best way to get learns about something. I'm not just being into millennial. I'm just not trying to advise you guys. This is from my personal experience. Failure is the best way to learn. So it's not just about chat gpt, it's about yourself too. Fail and then learn from that. I'm just not going into any motivational speaking out here. Let's recap anything back. So this is how network works. Now this is how IP address looks like. This is IPv4, IPv6. IPv6 was made because the limit of IPv4 have reached. This is how an IP address looks like. We have seen how IP address of our device is accessed. We have used I what was the command? ipconfig. We have used that command for getting this. Then we got into web. Tim Berners-Lee made www, which was the main reason for us to get make websites. And then we got into web one. We got into web two and web three. Web one is basically view only websites and web pages. So we users can only view those sites. We can't interact with the server. We can't interact with the website. That's the base core concept of web one. Then to solve the problems with web two, sorry, web one, web two was introduced. And when web two, when many people started to build on web two with the help of JavaScript and other languages and other frameworks, web 2 became popular and so effective and scalable as we see right now. So web 2 enables us to communicate with the server, and we get information from the server too. So it's a two-way communication. We can talk with them. Example, ChatGPT. We are speaking with ChatGPT. ChatGPT speaks back to us, right? It's the best example for web 2. Then comes web 3. As mentioned, it's a decentralized based internet. It's the third iteration of internet. It will be going. It is going to be the future. But just don't get into web 3 right now. First get into web 1, then get into web 2, then only get into web 3. And it is going to be tough for you guys. It's from my personal experience. Yeah, do it. So we have seen an example on uh, how a Web 2 based website works. Like how JavaScript takes place in building up the logic. I think everything is clear. If everything is clear, just put in a thumbs up on the comment, so it would be easy for me to understand that it works. So I think we right now have every information to get started into web. I think everyone are right now super curious on how to build our own website, how to build our own, our own web page, our own personal website, our own Amazon, our own Netflix, our own everything. How to become a good and great web developer. So let's get started into that. First of all, we have some criteria that is to be take place before getting into development. First thing I would like to recommend to you guys is install Ubuntu. The main reason is you will get that a programmer vibe when you are using Ubuntu. If you have never used Ubuntu, trust me, it's going to change your attitude. It's just completely, if you're using, if you're going into if you're trying to impress someone with your programming skills, if you first start up on Ubuntu, they will, the first impression is going to be great. If you don't have Ubuntu, there are several ways that we can access Ubuntu on our system. We can either use, if you're using Windows, there is this thing called WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux. We have this thing called VMware and VirtualBox for virtualization technologies. We can get Ubuntu inside Windows, and I would suggest dual booting Ubuntu. So you can choose Ubuntu, and Ubuntu will run on your on your exact hardware. Okay, so nice. So installing Ubuntu is the first thing that you need to do. But if you just don't have Ubuntu and if you just don't have time to install Ubuntu, it's fine. Windows will work, Mac will work, everything will work. But it's better to get into Ubuntu if you are, into, programming. And the second reason to, I would like to recommend Ubuntu is because there is this thing called path variables in Windows. It's a headache, it's a mess. Just don't get feared. I'm not trying to demotivate you guys. You will only get such issues when you are further into development. So such issues will be easily solved, or actually such issues won't come into when you are using Ubuntu. So try to use Ubuntu when you are getting more into development. If you are have Windows, no issues, no problem. I will explain everything how to get started on each domains. I might not talk about Mac because I am not a Mac user. I'm not a big fan of Mac. Because I have never used a Mac with my hands. So let's get started. First thing you need to install is an IDE, and oh, IDE. It's better to get the actual definition instead of speaking bullshit. Integrated development environment. This is an environment where we will be developing our software. So the best thing, the best IDE or the best code editor that I would like to recommend you guys is VS Code. So the first thing you need to install is VS Code. So right now, charge up your laptop, turn on your laptop, get into system, search for VS Code. If you haven't turned on your laptop, I would suggest. We are going to get into development. First thing, search for VS Code, and we are going to install VS Code. Yes, VS Code, exactly. I would recommend VS Code because that's the that is the code editor that I used, and that's the code editor that I started from. And yeah, it's tradition. I can't just shift it from. There are other code editors. There are other great code editors like Atom, like normal text editors. It would also work, but installing VS Code is recommended. Can you show the installation process of Ubuntu on Windows? So sorry, Biswajit Swine. I'm so sorry I can't show it because it is a little lengthy process. Search on YouTube. Go find yourself on how to install Ubuntu. It's not that hard, but it's a bit lengthy. Okay, so go. So just explore yourself. You will easily get some resources. YouTube. I will actually give you the resources. How to install a Linux on my laptop. So this one is actually a good, good tutorial. I have watched this one. You can watch this or other tutorials out there on YouTube and learn how to install Ubuntu. That's a pretty good one. So yeah, already using VS Code. Cool. So the first thing that we need to use is VS Code. So search for VS Code. We will get into VS Code. If you are using Ubuntu, the thing is sudo apt-get install code. That would just install VS Code if my intentions are right. Else, just it's better to search for VS Code on your browser. So I have seen here download for Windows. Click on it. So it's telling thanks for downloading. Let's go to downloads and save it. So yeah, now the VS Code is being downloaded, and in VS Code we will be editing our we will be editing our HTML files. So then by the time it downloads, let's get into HTML production. Now the second thing is that I would like to introduce to you guys is W3 Schools. This is an absolutely great platform to learn about the technology because Let's take an example. Here HTML, we can try ourselves. We can try HTML. We can learn here. We can edit these files. As we can see, it's live, right? It's live. We just don't need to host anything to see the output. We can just learn right here, as you can see. So it's a great platform. It's a great resource. Check it out. It's called W3 Schools. It's a great platform to get into web development. As I have mentioned before, we are right now getting into Web 1, where HTML and CSS is used to create web pages and websites. So let's get into HTML. What is HTML? It stands for Hypertext Markup Language. What does that mean? It means that it's a markup language. Means it is used for documenting. It is used for aligning. It's used for showing content of inside a web page. So the VS Code setup is done. So after downloading, I'm showing for Windows. I agree the accept the agreement. So I will be installing it in my local system. Software. Okay, next. Create a desktop icon. Next, install and let it install. So that's it. Create a directory, access denied. Okay, okay, cool. So yeah, it's just some issues that just formed. I just don't know. So you just give the folder where the app should be installed. Just click next. It's easy. Like it's just the same way that we install other. So let's get back to it. So what is HTML? HTML is used to you know to place every information that's available in a web page. So every information that we see, let's try it ourselves. So this is an HTML code. As we can see here, this code shows how this text should be shown in my web page, right? So like take my first heading. This thing is shown as we have seen here, like it's shown like this on my web page. So how things should be shown in my website, or how things should be shown in my web page, is made possible with the help of HTML. HTML is the backbone. HTML is the spine of the whole web page. Without HTML, there is no web page or website. Now, don't get me confused. HTML is not a programming language. It is a markup language. And what is markup language? It is just used to place several things up in a document. Now the setup is completed. Let's launch Visual Studio Code. Yeah, VS Code looks like this when you start. I would choose a theme. Yeah, dark mode. Yeah, in a dark mode. Cool. Dark modern. Yeah, fine. I just choose the dark theme. And this is the basic. Am I audible? My headphones just turned off. Is it audible? Just come pin me a comment on the YouTube. Um, my headphones just turned off. It just died. Is it audible, guys? It would be, yeah, cool. So I think I am audible. Let's get back on to so now the VS Code is being installed. I believe everyone have installed VS Code up there. And after installing VS Code, there's this thing called extensions. Press this and then type HTML. Now we will get to HTML CSS support based extension. This would help us to develop HTML. Also install this HTML boilerplate. Sorry. Install this HTML boilerplate. It would help you in developing file in VS Code. That's the main positive when we are dealing with VS Code, because as we can see here, when we are typing in, we get recommendations on what command we should put in them. So it's better to install both of this HTML boilerplate and HTML support. Install both of this extension and you are good to go. Now let's get back to our session. So as we have mentioned here, HTML is the backbone of any website, right? So let's see this website in our VS Code, right? So let's copy this one to my VS Code, just take a new file and paste every single data up here. So I'm going to, first thing I'm going to open a folder on my desktop, just create a new folder called the web dev and select that folder. It's better to, do you want to save changes to your, no, don't save. Yeah, just it opened a new window. I trust the author and browse. Yeah, that's what the color. Cool. So now inside this folder, I'm creating a new file. It's called index.html. Now it's always suggested to create your main HTML file with the name index.html, because when you're hosting your website somewhere on a server, it's always better to name it in this way. The hosting platform will search for this file on every file that we are uploading to host, and this is the file which will be considered as the starting point of our website. We are going to
Jules, you have muted yourself. You are on mute. You're still not audible. Can you check your connections?
Is it audible right now? I believe it is. So I'm so sorry for messing with you guys. As I mentioned, my headphones died in between these classes. So sorry for that. Similar to my camera, it's so sad. I just and when it died, the mic just turned into something else. So sorry for that. I will get back to what I was talking about. It was a question that was raised by this Miss India, Harshwant. So Harshwant, the sad reality of front end development is that it is getting saturated. If you are a great and good front end developer, it doesn't matter. So try to be a great front end developer. You will ace in this field. But if you're just an ordinary, it's a random front end developer, there are so many others who are in this space. So it's getting a little much complicated. Sorry, it's getting a little much more competition out there in this field. So try to be the best in this field. Then only you will get the best openings out there. There are many openings out there, but there are more than there are more number of um, people who are applying for such openings. So the ratio between the number of openings and the number of people ready to get into the job is so high. It's like 20, I just assume it's 20 to 1. So it's that difference. So try to be the best. Try to be the best in this session. Sorry, in this field. So let's get back to what we were doing out there. We just installed VS Code. I do believe everyone have installed VS Code. And if not, it's just go into your browser, search for search for VS Code and download for Windows. Then you will get this in extension. Click on it and try to install. It's just a normal software, and this is what you get. Create a new file, open a folder and create a new file called index.html and paste it in. Now if you don't have VS Code, just no issues, don't worry. You can test. You can take your text editor, your notepad, right? You can take in your notepad and paste this in, save this file named as what do we call it? What do we call it? What do we call it? We can call it test session dot html and click enter. Now that's it. Now after saving, after saving this file, how can we visit this website? Just right click and copy path. So you will get a path to this specific file. We open the browser and then we paste this path in there. So then we will see my first web page out there. This is the first web page you have created. Claps for those who have created and reached this much. If you have not, try to follow up on what this is and how you'll get into this. I believe everyone have reached here. Or GDP company. Yeah, it's of your choice. Like anyone could use any kind of IDEs or any kind of text editors. Yeah, VS Code is more user friendly than Notepad. Why? Because why US VS Code is much more user friendly is because of one reason is because of the extensions. We can install several extensions according to our use cases. It will help. For example, I am trying to create a new paragraph tag, so I get recommendations because I have installed this HTML boilerplate extension in my VS Code. So if I press enter P, the code have completed easily. So I can type in this was recommended by the extension. So if I do save this and I do save this, this is how this recommendation stuff work. And what is the use of HTML CSS? It would highlight these colors, the difference in colors of the tags that we use. Okay, I believe everyone have reached this part. Go live is a good extension. Yeah, use the ones that is comfortable for you guys. Cool. So let me get back to here. Now after saving, after saving any changes that you have done to your site, just reload and we can see the changes that is happening around here. It's just that easy to create your first web page. Cool. Now let's get more into the syllabus. Where, yeah, we were talking about intro to HTML, right? Now what is the thing that we see in this, right? Let's get more into this. Oops. So what is this thing that we see here? What is doc type HTML? This just defines that the document that we are giving here is an HTML file. That means the browser will know that, oh buddy, this is an HTML file, so we need to render it such way. It's just that naming. Then we start the HTML tag. So what is a tag? Let's get into that. So what is an HTML element, right? An HTML element is defined by a start tag, content, and end tag. So element means this HTML is an element, head is an element. So an element is something that is used to express something inside a web page. For example, this H1, it is an element that is present inside this website. So this H1 element is represented like this on our browser. This is how we see the stuff. Okay, that is what an element is called. And to create such elements, we use tags. What's tag? H1 we see here, it's a tag. H1 is used to create a heading. P is another tag that is used to create paragraph, and title is a tag that is used to create a title. So where did we see this? Let's say this is my sorry my first web page. Told you web page is a single sheet, so do mind. So after changing the title, right? So changing the title, we save the file, we go into our browser, we click reload, we can see it here. This is where we see that my first web page. Title is the thing that we see up here. Okay, now a challenge for you guys. If you have reached till here, awesome, you have done a great job on creating your first HTML website. Now a small task for you guys, and that is try to display, right? This is our web page, right? Under this, this my first paragraph, try to display your name. For example, here instead of this p tag, your name should come in this example. Here your name should come here. Just try to do this. Now if you haven't reached here, try to copy this. So where do we get this? Just search for what is HTML W3 schools. I will help you to reach the site. So just go to browser, just search in W3 schools HTML, and the first site that we get in an HTML tutorial. Go into this, we go to the introduction, and then we get this content. So go copy and paste this in VS Code. Get the file path by right clicking and copy path. Go into your browser again, paste that path and click enter to get into this web page that you have created. Now to enter your name in here, just type in your name, or just I'm entering your name here. So after this, we save this file, we get back to the browser, we reload this, and we see the change that was happened here. Now to reload, you can either press here or press Ctrl R, you will get reload. This is how basically our website works. So can we change the font size? customize inside p tag by using styles? Absolutely, we can do that, but it will be discussed in the upcoming chapters. um, yes, we will discuss about that. I believe you guys have did right now, did everything till now. We will get more into hands-on workshop in the upcoming days. This is how we are planning to make websites. This is how we will be making our own site. This is just an example site that we have seen. I won't be explaining how we reached till here in the future classes. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me right now. So if you haven't, got any information, if you have forgot how to do something, just ping me right now. So I will explain to you. And in the future classes, I would be, making new files up here, and copying the path, opening it up in the web browser, and that's how everything is going to work, right? I won't be going to show how to install VS Code, how to install these extensions. Now if you going up in the extensions of the VS Code and search for CSS and press enter, you will get this tailwind CSS. This is also a good extension that you will need tomorrow. Tomorrow we will get more into different HTML tags like the ones that we have seen here, the p tag, the h1 tag. There are several tags out there on HTML. We will discuss more into that. We will get into hands-on practicals tomorrow. Tomorrow you will be seeing me on Ubuntu, right? Tomorrow you will be seeing me on Linux, because that's where I program. I will, use that. No issues if you have Windows. Just follow everything that we have discussed in the class, nothing else. And if you have any doubts, do ping me on comments. Yeah, I will, Akshat Rawat. I will try to improve the camera quality tomorrow. Obviously, this is a crappy camera. I just don't usually use this, but randomly my camera died, and then my earphones died. It's depressing for me, guys. I'll try to improve the situation tomorrow. Um, so yeah, that's it. This is everything that I would like to talk. If you have any doubts, do ping me up in the comment section. Yeah, thank you everyone for mentioning that the session was cool and nice, and ping me up in the comments if you have any doubts. And yeah, that's it. Now I will also get back into some recap. um, Thank you all. Thank you for giving all the compliments to me. Now now I am recapping everything what we have talked. HTML, it is the backbone, it is the spine, it is everything that the browser needs to display our website. Without HTML, there is no web page, there is no website, there is nothing. Or if, like, let's take Amazon as an example. Amazon will have a website out there, right? Amazon will have a HTML file out there which displays everything. For example, where this Great Indian Festival, this banner should see, where this navigation bar should be placed, where all these bars should be placed, where all these images should be placed. Every information like that will be present inside this HTML file. So it will be like all these files would be made using the HTML tags, which all tags are present in there. We will be discussing about more in the next classes. And I believe you guys got an idea about everything to get started into development. And getting back into your doubt, a question that I have arised, just don't fear that the thing that I mentioned, that um, the web development, front end development, full stack development market is getting saturated. Just don't fear, just get into this. Web development, I personally would say it is the starting step, it is the foundation on which you would build your career upon. It's either web development or app development. Start from any one of this, it would be great for you, because by getting into this, you will learn many stuff like how everything works. You will get a clear idea on how, the website, how everything works on the internet. That's cool. Tell again, what is Finda? I think you are mentioning about Find. It is PHIND. This is a cool AI chatbot. It is trained on people like developers like us. So it is developed. It is trained upon the several code. So if, for example, let's take which are the tags that I need to use to display an image in HTML. I can just search my queries and just press enter. So then I can get, accurate information about the thing that I need to get. For example, there is this img tag that I need to use. There is this src attribute. We'll get into this more into the tomorrow's session. And why I did recommend Fin is also another reason, and that is in this extensions that is available in the VS Code, we can actually install fin.com as an extension. This is so much helpful. Why? Because fin, this AI chatbot, can access our local files. That means it can access our HTML file and can solve our issues that happens in each of our line of code. So just we don't need to copy paste all this code into Fin. Instead, it will work within our VS Code. These are the one of the best features of using, code editors like this. So I would recommend, highly recommend using VS Code or any other code editors of your choice for developing such softwares or websites like this, and also install Fin. This is not a paid promotion or stuff like that. This is based on my experience. This is the information that I have. This is the knowledge that I have gained in my experience. So that's why I have mentioned you guys to use this. Some language not understand. No doubt, Chat GPT. Which is better, ChatGPT, WhatsApp AI, Snap AI, Insta AI, Gemini, or Find? Now, talking about that, AI basically is trained on specific data. So if you get into AI development, you will get to know that AI is not just actually and creating an artificial intelligence. It works on based on a software or based on an algorithm. It identifies several patterns available on the data which is used, which is inputted into the AI model. So from that data, it learns on how all these stuffs work, and from that they will be able to give out information or as text messages. It's a completely different module. So it is better, and there is no word that I would like to mention to say which is better, because each AI has its own use cases. ChatGPT is a general AI, so we can get into ChatGPT and ask about anything in the world. It gives general results. It is trained on a large amount of data, so it can discuss many stuff. Gemini is trained on data from Google, the websites that is being launched. It takes information from the Google search engine, so it gives out more, real time, right now you the information. So for example, if right now if something have happened, if a latest news, news of today's news would be much more accurately displayed on Gemini rather than ChatGPT, but they are trying to fix that issues. And Snap AI, Insta AI, WhatsApp AI, these AIs work inside of the respective apps, so they are better inside those apps. Outside those apps, it's not relevant. Fin is trained on programming languages and several other programming code, so it's much better to use it for programming based doubts. So I'm not able to deploy in GitHub pages. Some issues, how to get it solved. GitHub pages, the main what is your issue? What is your problem? What is your problem, Kushi E? I will talk about that. For right inputs, it gets wrong answers. It has a note where it's written that it can generate wrong answers because because not all the information that we feed into the AI is always accurate. That is the main reason. Even we people learn from others, right? There is no guarantee that the other person is delivering accurate information. Like you can't even trust me, right? Because I'm a normal human being. I am giving out information. I am giving out my knowledge to the best of my knowledge, to the best of accuracy. I'm not a robot, with the first. So that's the thing. So that's the main issue. That's why ChatGPT is saying wrong answers can also be generated. Which extensions are needed to be installed in VS Code for further classes? Biswath saying it's just I have shown before. It's just HTML. You just search in HTML, you will get this HTML CS support and HTML boilerplate. This would be cool. And you just search for CSS, you will get just this much is enough. It would be cool if you could install Tailwind CSS, because it would recommend much more CSS based commands. So that's it. These are just relevant. Just install these. It would be great if you could install Fint. Also, you could install Copilot. It's a Microsoft based, yeah, GitHub and Microsoft based chatbot. It would also do the same thing as Fint. You can use anything, any one according to your preferences. Guys, I can't understand Hindi, so please don't comment in Hindi. I just can't understand what you guys are talking about. AI is danger if we use in the wrong way. Exactly. If we use it for malicious purpose, we can use it, by the way. If we use it for malicious purpose, it can be dangerous. So one of my friends always get compiler error, but not in coding in real life. In real life, just train anime art and edits. It's the quality of the code that makes it. It just don't get the compiler error in real life. So try to improve his code, the code he's using in his real life. So try to make him better. Try to make him a good person in real life. And no, Najma, that's not the way you should talk to your teacher. What did Najma talk about me? Who's she? हिंदी से बोलो. Sir, हिंदी language में बोलो. I'm sorry, मैं हिंदी नहीं मालूम. That's the only Hindi I know. Prank on you. Um, you know, मैं हिंदी कुछ कुछ तो बोलूँ, but I can't actually read, everything that you guys speak. मैं हिंदी में कुछ कुछ मालूम और um, as you can see, I it just get broken in between. I'm not that comfortable in speaking or understanding Hindi. That's why I just told. Sir, your intro before ending class. I think that is not relevant for anyone up here. I'm just an ordinary guy with some extraordinary skills. That's the only info that I would like to give out here. Just try to be someone who has some extraordinary skills. That's only how you can crack into this environment. Try to be best in what you do. That's it. Okay, where are you from? You are talking about, you're talking about asking about where I am from. I'm from India. That's only the thing I can, speak out in this session. So, yeah, cool. How much DSA requires to get a job? It depends, right? If you are getting into a software company, for example, Infosys, Accenture, if you're trying to get into companies like that, they will be screening you guys based on the level of DSA knowledge you have. But there are other startups, they select you based on the skills you have, not just on DSA, the skill that you have on a specific domain, for example web development, web3 development, app development, or anything. So it's your skills that matter. So some companies do ask for DSA, some companies just don't even care about your DSA skills. It's about if you are able to do this, then yeah, get in. I trust in those guys. I would love to work with such guys. I have to be part of Infosys. Yeah, Infosys is a good company, and I think they are on hiring spree right now. If you are looking to get into Infosys and companies similar to that, master your DSA, DSA skills. They will be only looking much more into DSA. So if you are looking into getting into such companies, try to focus your mind into DSA and improve your skills in DSA. And then after getting into Infosys, you can improve skills on other domains like web development, app development, or the domain that they are requiring. So the first job is to get into companies like that. They will be looking into DSA based coding questions, they would be looking into aptitude based questions. So train on them, try to develop your skills, try to develop your speaking skills. Yeah, that's it. That's the information that I would like to. Thank you, sir, for the amazing house. Thank you. If with good skills you can get. Yes, exactly. If with good skills, you know, with good skills there will come good responsibilities too. Yeah, that's what I would like to say. How to improve DSA? You can check out. Yo, my God. Lead Code. Lead Code is a good platform. HackerRank is a much more easier platform to get into. You can sign up on HackerRank for free. There are several other courses, several other questions discussed on that platform, and try to learn from DSA. And one thing I would like to show you guys is that, oh yeah, you okay, okay, no issues. So do try to learn courses from Udemy or other uh, course platforms. Like there's this tutor called Angela Yu. She's my mentor. She is my role model on taking classes like this. I took her as a role model on taking these classes and making interactive as much as possible. She's just a great tutor. So if you are able to get into purchase her classes, it would be good for you. I'm not, as again told before, this is not a paid promotion. This is not a paid promotion. This is from my experience. I am trying to give you guys my improvements. That's how you guys improve. In which domain you got job? I was working in the full stack development, but then I quitted it because I am looking into get into Web3. I just find it fascinating, and I got some opportunities. So I'm right now, building up my skills in Web3, and yeah, that's it. And I do assume within the next 6 months I will be able to ace the skill and get into some good positions up there. I think I have been answering so much questions, and if it's time, if time's up, you can uh, close me up, or else I won't stop talking. That's one of my problems. If questions keep coming, I would answer every one of them. So unless if these guys kick me out, I will be answering these questions. So let's see. Um,
Let us wrap up now. Okay,
yeah,
time's up.
that's cool. So if
Okay,
you have
thank you
any other
everybody for joining.
questions, do mention it in the tomorrow's class. So I will be answering tomorrow. Bye. Cheers. Bye, guys. Thank you for being up here and making this an interactive session. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. Bye.